tell you that. All right. All right. Anyway, we have a wonderful lineup, not only of lunch, we have a bunch of events coming up. We have Bastille Day. We're going to have our annual servers race for Bastille Day. Our cruise is coming up in the fall on the Rhine, so I'm going to take 130 of our clients on a culinary Rhine trip. There's still a couple of cabins left, and I know you inquired about the lifeboat with the tarp, because you for the budget one. We can help with that. Okay. Yeah. Or you can be my culinary assistant. You know what I mean? That works. That works also. Anyway, welcome. Happy Father's Day. We have our fresh shrimp that we've grilled. I can't talk. Wait a minute. That we have grilled, just salt and pepper, a little bit of olive oil, and just slightly grilled, because we're going to heat them back up. Before we're going to serve them, we're going to heat them back up just a little bit. So we want to undercook them very, very slightly, and then we put some fresh herbs from the garden on top. We've grilled some zucchini and yellow squash. And then we've made a bouillabaisse broth. We've made a saffron broth, which we're going to use to garnish the shrimp. Now, since we have so many recipes, I'm going to go through some of them a little quickly, just talk about it, and then some of the others we'll actually demo. So this is your basic bouillabaisse or soupe de poisson, vegetables, fish stock, of course, white wine, and lots of saffron. The premier herb, actually it's not an herb, it's considered a spice. An herb technically is something that is indigenous or local, where a spice is something from elsewhere. Technically, it's very broad definition. So we've grilled the shrimp, grilled the zucchini and yellow squash, and see what else that they have in there. I mean, it's amazing how fast, you know the squash. It comes in this, and then the next morning it's tremendous. So we have to stay on it. We have 3 people outside, so we're going to take that, grill our shrimp. You can saute the shrimp, obviously, but grilling for Father's Day, I mean, guys love to grill. Let's face it. You know what happens when he says, I'm going to grill for you, honey, right? You don't? Good, because he never said, honey, why don't you take the night off and let me grill for you? So you go to the store and get the meat, because it's usually got to be meat, the vegetables, the salad, while he's outside looking at the fire, Yeah. Men stare, I mean, we've never seen it. So, he puts the meat on the grill, overcooks it usually. You guys sit, because he's having a beer. He's just, he's staring. He can't, I'm sure it's in the DNA, speaking of DNA. Then you sit down, you eat, you get up, kind of clear the place and stuff like that, because he's still. Then he comes in and goes, honey, how'd you like your night off? And you say to yourself, because we got to be PC here, there's just no pleasing women. You got to be. Good thing it's not on Facebook Live streaming. You know what I mean? They're going to bleep out all the non-PC stuff, I hope. All right, so then we're going to take our bouillabaisse broth, which is wonderful for all seafoods and fish, and just put it around. Let me put it up here so you can kind of see it. Great with scallops, or a combination of scallops or any seafood, really. Fresh fish. The traditional bouillabaisse is with fish, and the lore is that you have to be within sight of the Mediterranean. I love all that stuff, you know what I mean? And then whatever the catch of the day is, I know they have groups that go down to the sea, and then the fishermen have already caught everything, and it's all fun. This food brings people together. We celebrate everything with food, And some of the lore that goes with it is just fantastic. Any questions on this particular dish? The saffron is from Spain. I'm surprised they're actually still working in Europe, picking these sorts of things, but they are.
I have a question.
Yes.
For how long do you grill the shrimp?
Oh, just boom, boom. Well, it depends, of course, on how hot your grill is, but if you're really firing up the grill, I mean, it couldn't be less than a minute on each side, especially if you're going to heat it back up. If you're going straight, in other words, if you have your setup ready, you could just grill it really quickly and put that, and if you put a little hot sauce, a little hot of the sauce on top, that'll just finish cooking it right away. It's always tricky. It's funny. People will eat raw seafood and fish, right? Sushi or crudo, but they won't eat it sort of half-cooked for the most time. Salmon perhaps being a notable exception. It's kind of interesting. You'll eat it raw, but you won't eat it mi-cuit. You know what? Medium rare. It's kind of, that was the rage a long time in France where we were cooking some stuff. Mi-cuit, they called it, you know, medium rare, medium. And that seemed to be the rage. And of course, I came back from France and said, oh, we got to try this. You know, there's these cultural, it's funny. There's these cultural differences, there's expectations, you know, a certain amount of confidence that moves us all in whatever direction, and that particular thing didn't work well. Kind of interesting. So here is your grilled shrimp with your saffron broth and grilled garden vegetables. Voila. Questions at all? Boy, that's thirsty work. Okay. Next.